Welcome to The Fraud Files, a true crime podcast that tells the stories of some of the most fascinating cases of fraud in the financial world, brought to you by FloQast Studios. If you're a CPA, you can listen and earn continuing professional education credits for free at learn.flowcast.com. That's learn.flowqast.com. Enjoy the show. Before we dive into today's episode, make sure to hit that follow button. Don't miss out on unraveling the mysteries with us every week. Episode 1, Welcome to Forensic Accounting 101.
I would like to see the maximum sentence imposed. She betrayed my trust, the trust of my family, and the trust of many others here. And she basically played us all for fucking fools.
Dawn went through our many events in life, births, deaths, celebrations, and retirements. We never had any reason to doubt her advice, although many times it was above our head. Risk statistics and how the changes would enhance our portfolios.
I am not an experienced investor, and Dawn knew that. I'm 65 years old. I've been seeing a psychiatrist and a therapist for recurring suicidal thoughts because of her.
Dawn has ripped us all up. Our lives are destroyed. And she didn't even care if I had cancer. She took advantage of me. I hope she rots in jail. Dawn is pure evil and deserves everything she gets.
Never in my time at the FBI have I come across what we found in Dawn Bennett's apartment after that raid.
What do you mean Dawn was doing spells?
Spells? What, like Harry Potter?
Harry Potter is just a ripoff of Star Wars. A chosen orphan discovers he can do powerful magic. It's pretty much Sally.
Sorry, but spells and accounting?
Welcome to Forensic Accounting 101, or as I like to call it, how not to get away with fraud.
So cool. Like how to get away with murder.
Now, how come they never make any cool shows about accountants? Lawyers and doctors get all the good ones.
Because accountants aren't cool.
Have you seen PBC on YouTube? It's hilarious, and the accountants are dope.
Is it better than The Accountant, starring Ben Affleck?
Anything is better than The Accountant starring Ben Affleck.
Man, that movie tried so hard to make accounting exciting.
So, accounting isn't exciting, huh? So the FBI kicking down a door isn't exciting? How about serving 30 years in a federal penitentiary? Or what about the most famous gangster of all time, Al Capone? They didn't even arrest Al Capone for murder. They didn't arrest Al Capone for drug trafficking. Nor did they arrest him for the organized gambling. What did they arrest Al Capone for? Tax evasion. Why? Because they could prove it. How? Because their accountant knew where to look. See, this is Forensic Accounting 101, so yes, you can expect balance sheets and income statements and questionable expense reports, but what separates this from Accounting 101? The story. You see, numbers tell amazing stories, if you just know how to read them. Now this semester, we're going to be dissecting thrilling true crime cases and all the financial elements that encompass it. We're going to examine the narrative and follow the money, which will tell us all we need to know. And what you just heard were victim statements from the case of Dawn J. Bennett, formerly one of the top financial advisors in the country, currently one of the top inmates at Chesapeake Detention Facility in Baltimore, Maryland.
Please, I need medical attention. Something isn't right. Please.
Dawn J. Bennett, trusted investment advisor.
It wasn't drugs. It wasn't alcohol. It wasn't gambling. It was her, a crook.
Dallas Cowboys fan.
The Dallas Cowboys seek $7.3 million in compensation from Bennett for Bennett's failure to pay her luxury suite lease.
Practitioner of magic.
I cross and cover you. Come under my command. I command you to hold your tongue.
In this class, we meet the many faces of Dawn J. Bennett, the woman who leveraged her counterfeit personal brand to defraud millions. Our story begins in 1987. Dawn J. Bennett starts her brokerage career at Wheat First Securities. Dawn would go on to become a senior VP for 10 years at Legg Mason Walker, an American investment management firm headquartered in Baltimore. Not bad for a woman in a male-dominated industry. But Dawn's appetite for risk wasn't just saved for her investment strategies. After 19 years of experience, she founded her own investment firm in 2006.
And with that, Your bank account is officially open. Congratulations. Bennett Group Financial Services is open for business.
Yes, thank you all so much. Cheers! Oh, it's been a pleasure doing business with you all.
So let's say you're starting your own investment firm, hoping to make billions. How do you feel?
Excited.
Right. Well, Dawn was really excited. In fact, she even ended up sharing some of her excitement with her former clients at Legg Mason Walker.
So she was poaching clients from her old firm.
Well, investment advisors build relationships with clients over time. So when a client follows an investment advisor, oftentimes it's less poaching and more just trust and comfortability. Dawn was sitting at the kitchen table of her Chevy Chase, Maryland apartment, scrolling through office space rental listings, when she got a phone call.
Don Bennett, how may I...
Hey, Don, it's Brad. I'm returning your call from earlier.
Brad, yes! How are things?
Oh, the industry is a little crazy right now.
Tell me about it. Well, listen, I've officially gone out on my own, even found a great office space in town, and you're just slaving away over there. And I was thinking, how about coming to work with me?
Oh, well, I don't know, Don. I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at.
Right, but you can't tell me it doesn't drive you mad that you have to give a considerable percentage of your commission to them.
Well, that's the price of job security.
Well, what's the price of greatness?
Wow. Did you just come up with that on the spot, or was that rehearsed?
Oh, 2 hours in front of the mirror this morning.
Okay, all right. Where are you at? How many clients? Total assets under management?
Whoa, slow down, Brad. You'll have to buy me dinner first. It's still early for us, but that's the beauty of it. We could build the practice together. You always said we'd be perfect business partners.
I seem to remember you saying that.
Well, I was only saying what we were both thinking. So?
Don, I'm flattered. I truly am. And, I've always thought the world of you and your work.
But
I just think it's a little early for me to come in. I'm afraid you don't quite have the credits or portfolio yet.
Totally, Brad. I'll circle back when our client list is more up to your standards. You'll be hearing from me soon.
Dawn was building a business, and with that comes the inevitability of rejection. But Dawn could be quite persuasive.
Hey, Dawn. I just called your office and they said you were no longer with the firm. Please call.
Carl! So sorry for the inconvenience. Did you not get my email?
Well, I'm not the best with computers, Dawn.
Listen, everything's fine. Great, actually. I've decided to start my own firm, Bennett Group Financial Services. And let me just tell you, we're thrilled with how your portfolio is looking. It's at an all-time high.
Oh, great. Is there anything I need to do?
Nope, just a signature. I'll handle everything else. The only thing you should do is come to town to see the new office. I'll grab your autograph and we'll get a bite. My treat.
Sounds great. Thanks, Dawn.
Dawn brought over clients from Legg Mason Walker. She started making her clients a lot of money, and they lived happily ever after. Kidding, we are just at the beginning. So in 2006, Dawn just set out on her own, and she was just trying to get all the pieces together. She's hustling.
Hi, my name is Dawn Bennett, and I'm an investment advisor and owner of a new firm I've recently started. Hi, my name is Dawn Bennett, and I'm an investment advisor at a boutique firm. Hi, my name is Dawn Bennett, and I'm about to change your life.
Dawn was hitting the pavement, trying to establish a billion-dollar investment firm. But how do you do that without billion-dollar clients? So where does one find clients with some money in the bank? You gotta get a little creative. So Dawn did.
Damn it. 4!
You see, with just $5 million, I'll optimize your investment strategy. We'll put some in the market, buy some mutual funds, and diversify by also investing in physical assets like gold. I can guarantee a 7% return on investment, and that's just within the first 6 months.
I don't know, Don. That sounds great and all, but I've been with Legg Mason & Walker for 10 years. That would be a tough switch.
Well, now that I'm no longer there, do you really think you'll get the individual attention that your portfolio demands?
I'm confused. Isn't it against ethics to steal all these clients?
Well, let's discuss. It's common in many industries for clients to follow their relationships, but is it ethical? No matter where the relationships are made, there are professional obligations an investment advisor must adhere to.
What about non-competes?
Good point. Many industries use what is called a non-compete agreement, which is essentially a legal contract between an employee and their employer that states that the employee will not work for a competitor for a period of time after an employment, which is a very common practice in the accounting industry. In investment banking, companies often require an ex-employee to go on a garden leave, during which they pay an ex-employee to stay away from work, clients, and delay seeking employment elsewhere for a period of time. This stops sensitive information from being shared with a competitor or from the employee joining a competitor right away and bringing over clients.
Where do I sign up for garden leave?
Leaving an employer when you are client-facing is never a clean break. Think about when your favorite barber or hairdresser leaves your barbershop. Even if you ask where they went, the shop might refuse to tell you because they want to keep you as a client.
Nah, he's not here anymore. But sit tight, because you see JJ over there? He gives the cleanest cut in town. He'll take you right now.
Yeah, my cousin owns a barbershop, so ethically, if I ever got a cut elsewhere, my grandma would murder me.
Now, that's a different type of crime that we don't cover in this class.
So, what happened next?
Well, the next stop in our story is in a publicist's office. You're in a publicist's office. You can hear the sounds of paper shuffling, interns running around, and if you listen closely, you can hear conversations happening, similar to the one Dawn had in a publicist's office, picking up one of her more prolific clients in 2006.
Excuse me, sorry to bother you, but I wanted to poke your brain. Are you happy with this company? I'm really struggling to find a good publicist. Third meeting in 2 days.
Oh yeah, they're great. Did wonders for my book.
Oh, you're a writer?
Writer, relationship expert, TV personality, amongst other things. How about you?
Don Bennett of Bennett Group Financial Services. We manage a variety of extremely high net worth individuals.
Not accurate.
Steven Santagati. And I could use your help, but sounds like I'm not a big enough fish for you.
Well, how much are you looking to invest, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know, a few $100K.
Well, we typically require clients to invest a minimum of $1 million with us.
Not true.
We need a healthy investment to make the returns we promise, of course.
Right. I figured.
But since we are a new firm, and it seems like you could use some help, I think we could make an exception.
Really? That would be amazing.
He fell for it.
My pleasure. Now, is a couple hundred really your cap? Is there any wiggle room with that? Gotta put money in to get money out.
Well, it'd be more than I wanted to invest. I have some money from my book, TV appearances, maybe $600 or $700K. And I have been thinking about selling my home in Vermont. That might get me to $1 million.
You know, Steven, I have a good feeling about you. I think we're gonna make a lot of money together.
They don't.
Well, if you have aggressive investment strategies, I'm not in a place in my career to be able to take those risks. I need to make sure my money is safe and accessible. Entertainment is a risky business, and I'm not sure there's much more left for me to make in it. This would be everything I have.
Oh, absolutely. Trust me, I know better than anyone. If you invest with us, I can assure you we'd use a conservative approach. Investing your money with us would be as safe as having it in the bank. Except you'll be making a lot more than if it's out in the bank. Trust me, this is how the rich stay rich. Secret investment strategies no one wants to share.
Really?
Dawn Bennett, we're ready for you.
Oh, why don't you take my card?
It sounds like she was really good at schmoozing.
That's right. Dawn J. Bennett was charismatic, charming, and she knew how to use it to her advantage. Sometimes it involved being in the right place at the right time, like with Steven.
Wait, what was Don doing in a publicist's office? I'm not sure how many investment advisors use PR. Doesn't seem like a smart use of funds at that point.
Good catch. Dawn doesn't have the budget for a publicist, but she was a professional illusionist. Even if she didn't have the dollars, she promised she did. She painted the illusion that she did, and people believed that. Stephen Santagati went on to invest a large portion of his entire life savings with Dawn. All the money he made from his book, TV appearances, and the sale of his house in Vermont. And why wouldn't he? An actor dreaming of his place in the world of celebrities could easily be convinced his connection to it all could be through Dawn. If he could make money like the rich and famous, he could be the rich and famous.
So you're saying Dawn targeted vulnerable people and made money off their insecurities?
Exactly. Would you invest your life savings with someone like Dawn?
Don't think so.
Hindsight is always 20/20. You'd be surprised at how often things like this happen today. Who you invest with isn't a decision one should make lightly.
What should we be looking for?
No matter what picture of wealth a financial advisor paints you, whether that's fancy golf games or even just a fancy cup of coffee, it's important to do your due diligence. A good investment advisor should be able to answer all of your tough financial questions. And since you're future accountants and financially literate, I would start with questions that you know the answer to. It's a proven way to weed out the okay from the good and the good from the great.
Like how to account for pensions? Even most accountants don't know how to do that.
I'd ask them something that relates to the field they work in. The difference between qualified and non-qualified dividends. Ask them the difference in where the dividends are paid from and the difference in how they're taxed. Qualified dividends are paid by a U.S. corporation or foreign corporation that has a tax treaty with the United States. Qualified dividends are taxed at a lower rate, the same rate as capital gains. All other dividends are non-qualified and are taxed at a higher rate, the same as ordinary income. If your investment advisor tells you correctly, that's great. If not, it's a good idea to take a step back and reevaluate your relationship. It's also important to look into your advisor's past and see if past clients were happy with their work.
Let me get this straight. Are you telling us to stalk their socials?
Well, you could. I meant more the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, or FINRA for short. They offer an online tool to dig deeper into a professional's disciplinary record. You can even find complaints on there. But sometimes things don't make it on there, unfortunately. Another good question to ask is fees. How do they make their money?
That's a really smart question, actually.
If you're not investing a lot, an advisor may take you on for free with the idea that you'll become a paying customer later. Some advisors might charge you for their time or a percentage of the money in your portfolio. Regardless, the take-home shouldn't be higher than 1% of the money in your portfolio. A final word of advice, to bring it back to our friend Stephen. You should be wary of investments that sound too good to be true. It's impossible that investing your money with guaranteed high returns yields the same level of risk as leaving it alone in your bank's checking account. Same goes for any mention of special, exclusive deals or any type of secrecy around the investment strategy. Good investment advisors are transparent in all dealings, but especially the strategy and the risk appetite they take on for their clients.
Or, don't fall for anything that seems sketchy.
The red flags aren't always apparent.
Okay, so to recap from my notes here. Number 1, test your advisor's technical knowledge. Number 2, do your background check on FINRA. Number 3, check out their payment structure. Number 4, avoid having the wool pulled over your eyes. No special offers or exclusive secret strategies.
Vanilla bean latte for Kelly.
In a cafe in late 2006, Dawn was sitting down with potential clients. And I think you'll find none of them knew the right questions to ask.
As you can see, my experience speaks for itself. I can send my resume over to you.
Oh, I don't need none of that. All I need is to look you in the eyes and see if I get a good feeling from you.
Well, our returns are better than anyone else on the market.
I'll take your word for it.
We run a portfolio that's balanced, and we do it with 30% less risk than the S&P 500. And we're up over 25%.
Where do I sign?
Dawn signed clients left, right, and center. And many of them were happy with the results. At first.
Hello?
Dawn, I'm looking at my account right now. Is this real? 1.5 mil?
Feels good to see your investments grow, doesn't it?
Listen, if you keep this up, you're gonna be the one on TV.
Stop it, Steven. You think I can tell when you're using one of your tactics from your book on me?
Have you finally read it?
Now, when would I have had the time to read when every minute of my day is focused on making you millions?
Fair enough. You keep making magic.
And then came 2008.
In one of the most historic elections in the nation's history, Barack Obama has been elected the 44th President of the United States.
While our journey has been long, we have picked ourselves up. We have fought our way back. And we know in our hearts that for the United States of America, the best is yet to come.
Unfortunately, for some people, the worst was yet to come.
Overvalued homes, demand falling, rapid sales, lower home values, and foreclosures. The American housing bubble has burst.
Ouch.
Lehman Brothers files for bankruptcy on September 15, 2008, resulting in the stock plunging 93% from its previous close on September 12th.
I was only 8 years old when that happened. Professor Pope, could you give us a little more background?
I'd be happy to. On a trading floor, not unlike this one, the Lehman Brothers invested heavily in risky mortgages.
Well, that's what caused the recession?
Well, technically, their bankruptcy did not cause the recession or even the subprime mortgage crisis. Its collapse triggered a huge sell-off in the global markets because they invested heavily in risky mortgages, just as housing prices started to fall. Neither the federal government nor the Treasury could bail them out without a buyer. In a way, the Lehman Brothers bankruptcy kicked it off. As we know, the recession did end in 2009.
So, what caused the bankruptcy?
Experts say it was caused by 4 main reasons. 1, risk. They took on too much risk without the corresponding ability to raise cash quickly. 2, culture. Management rewarded excessive risk-taking. 3, overconfidence. Investing in mortgage-backed securities, despite not knowing or acknowledging the risk these investments posed. And 4, regulatory inaction. The Securities and Exchange Commission and other regulators knew as early as 2007 that the Lehman Brothers were taking on too much risk, but didn't do anything until much later, when it was too late.
Typical boys club.
So, the world markets are on fire, Dawn's own industry is on fire. Meanwhile, Dawn is telling clients her investments are fine.
That sounds important. Maybe you should get that.
Bennett Group Financial Services, how may
Dawn, I've been trying to get a hold of you for days.
Sorry, Stephen. I've been away on business.
What's going on? All my investments are dropping. There's only $700K left in my account now?
Oh, it's temporary. Don't worry about it. We have everything under control.
Are you sure? Should we pull some money out? I really can't afford to lose any...
You need to trust me.
Well,
Oh, that's my other line. Talk soon. Brad, how's it going?
Well...
You know my offer's still on the table if you want it. You won't regret it. The clients are rolling in, and I've got a secret weapon up my sleeve.
I've been thinking about it. I think you're right. We'd make a killer team.
Fantastic! Knew you'd come around.
Dawn was sitting in her glitzy new office space for Bennett Financial Group Services, taking a career-changing phone call with her publicist.
Fantastic. And when will it be published?
Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll do our best to make sure all the local publications pick it up. It's gonna be great.
Great. Just wait till my clients hear about this.
Hello?
Steven, I have some great news to share with you.
We've bounced back? I haven't looked today. What happened?
No, not yet, Stephen. Those things take time, and everyone knows the market is constantly up and down. You have to write it out. In other news, I've just made Barron's list of top 100 women financial advisors of 2009. I'm number 4, actually, because we have over $1 billion in assets under management.
That's good news, I guess. But what about my portfolio?
I told you, you have nothing to worry about. Your investments are in great hands.
Dawn knew how to speak about her business in a way that people, the media, clients, employees all clung to, and it seemed as though that overpriced publicist was truly paying off. And with good PR comes a press release. And of course, Dawn took the opportunity to make the following statement.
It's an honor to be chosen among the thousands of financial advisors in the country by such a prestigious financial magazine as Barron's.
Not gonna lie, I get it. It seems like she's in charge.
And that's exactly what she was going for.
I'm confused. Her client's portfolio is declining, yet she's a Barron's List top financial advisor?
She said Barron's List.
What's the Barron's List?
Barron's is a financial publication that publishes a list every year to shine a spotlight on the nation's best wealth managers and raise standards in the industry. Making Barron's top 100 financial advisor list in 2009 was a massive accomplishment for Dawn, especially if you consider that in previous years, she was nowhere near it. Making this list gave her legitimacy and pushed her into the spotlight. But most importantly, it gave her bragging rights, which she used to garner confidence in her clients.
So how did Dawn get onto the Barron's List?
According to Barron's, advisors who wish to be ranked fill out a comprehensive survey about their practice.
A survey? That's it?
Barron then verifies the data with the advisor's firm and with regulatory databases and applies their ranking formulas to the data to generate a ranking based on assets, revenue, and quality of practice.
How?
Barron's makes it clear on their website that the rankings are meant as a starting point for clients looking for an advisor, a first-pass vetting that can help investors narrow a search. Clients are encouraged to approach a search for an advisor the way they would search for a doctor, interviewing multiple professionals and getting opinions from multiple third parties. That's what the website says today. I'm not too sure if it said that back in 2009 when Dawn made the list. And actually, Dawn ended up making a few more lists after this one. Later in 2009, she made Barron's list of overall top financial advisors. She was number 26. In 2011, she was ranked number 2 on Barron's top advisor ranking in DC.
Like I said, it's actually pretty impressive. I know she's a criminal and everything, but it seems like she was a distinguished investment advisor.
Agreed. And it would have been even more impressive if she had been telling the truth. All right, that's all for today. We'll have to pick up on Dawn next time. Oh, wait, you dropped this.
Thanks, Professor Pope.
A change major request form. I see. Accounting to finance.
Well, I was. I mean, nothing's final, but I'm considering a few different options for my career.
Right, well, I get it. And it's your future, so I'm sure you want to be calculated and explore all of your options. But I'll leave you with one thought. I think you'll find by the end of this class that accounting extends far beyond balance sheets.
On the next episode of The Fraud Files.
Dawn, I told you, you need to get your spending under control. You better not be buying shoes again.
Can I split the total between 3 cards?
Of course.
Dawn, you need to call me back immediately. My account is below 500K now. What the fuck is going on?
You gotta pull this now.
Fuck! This is everything I have! She tanked everything, and I need to report a crime committed by my financial advisor.
Who would you like to file a complaint against?
Dawn Bennett.
Love today's episode or have suggestions? Rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and makes our community stronger.